Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the 9th and final Autumn 2024 update from GavsWeatherVids. So here we go, we've reached the very end, really, of our journey to Autumn. All that's left is to do this final update next Saturday's third and final Autumn 2024 Season 1 Roundup, and then release our Autumn forecast a week today on Sunday, the 25th of August. So as I say, we're pretty much at the end of the journey now. I've got one more update to bring you, and I shall get over that for you in a moment. Just say about the first video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we're also going to be live, I should say, at 6 PM this evening. We'll have our Sunday evening live stream, so we'll check in, see how we're all doing for the first time in a couple of weeks, and of course we'll live stream our 10 to 14 day and include some long range. It's just a Sunday live stream, so got to do that, and that's all to come later on at 6 PM. Please like, share, and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. Thanks so much, everyone, for doing that. Thanks so to Richard for our amazing autumn updates gift. Thank you so much, Rich. I love it, love it, love it. This will be the final time that you see the autumn updates gift, because we've got to show you the autumn forecast gift, of course, next Sunday. So, thank you so much, Rich. It's been amazing. It's been absolutely incredible. So vibrant with the colours. Thank you so much, my friend. I think so to Shrine Brewing as well for the help on this one, confirming, and sorting out our years and whatnot. So thank you so much to Shrine Brewing for doing that. And thanks to Terry Scotty. Of course, I'll give out thanks at the end of the video. Okay, well, let's crack on then. Why not do that? So we're going to bring you a little bit of August data for this one. Now, we are a long way short of the end month, so that is the caveat with this. We can't bring you England weather precipitation data. We're too, far away from month end to be able to do that. It looks like we're going to have a dry of an average August, probably, but where we come in with that, is very, very uncertain. We have had a very warm first half to August. We can say that quite definitively with a CET at the moment of 18 degrees provisional to the 16th of August. We've got the remains of Hurricane Ernesto moving into the North Atlantic and Northern Europe in the coming days. So that should boost temperature and humidity a little bit as well. So I think we're probably going to have a 17 Celsius CET finish for this, August. It is a little bit uncertain. It is possible we might come in under 17 Celsius in the 16s, but with a bit of luck, fingers crossed, we're going to be able to hang on to a 17 Celsius, CET finish. Probably at the low end of 17 Celsius, but hopefully we'll be able to hang on to a 17 degree CET finish. And so for this final update, we're very simply going to be looking at autumn, spring, August with 17 Celsius CET finishes. That is a big range from 17.0 to 17.9. So let's do that then for the final time for our autumn forecast next week. We're going to begin with 1959. The autumn of 1959, followed to 17 Celsius CET August. Autumn 1959 looks like that. We've seen it quite a lot within our updates this year. I imagine it will be one of the leading analogue years. I don't know. I haven't seen any finalised data yet, but I would imagine it probably is quite an important player this time. A very extended autumn, as we've been, a very extended summer, I should say, as we've been saying. So the summer begins in the spring and it goes on well into the autumn as well. So overall, it's a warm and dry autumn, warm and dry September, pretty warm and dry for most of October. It does break late October, and then November 1959 is milder and wetter. Our next autumn is going to be 1976. This, of course, is a very wet autumn coming at the end of the Great Drought. It breaks in spectacular fashion. The drought over the bank holiday weekend at the end of August, and then it's just a deluge really through the rest of the autumn, with low pressure meaning copious amounts of rain. And by the end of that autumn, phenomenally, we have pretty much made up a 2-year drought. That is how wet the autumn of 1976 was. Then we've got autumn 1983, again following 17 Celsius CET August. This one with high pressure through western parts of Europe, low pressures away to the northeast. This is a pretty warm and dry autumn, though it does have a wet September, interestingly, at the end of hot summer. And then the rest of the autumn, October and November, tending to be drier a lot of the time and pretty mild. I mean, just one year on, 1984, very different autumn, really wet, low pressure dominated autumn. This one has a wet September. I think October and November are all pretty wet as well. Not much in the way of frost. It's a very mild autumn, and that goes on even into December of 1984 as well, but it is a very, very wet autumn, that one, so warm and wet for 1984. Then we go on to 1991, so this one is a little bit more mixed, so low pressure way to the northeast, high pressure out to the northwest, and the low pressure sort of digging into West Europe. Has quite a warm September through most of it, but does turn right at the end of the month significantly cooler and more unsettled. I think October and November are generally rather mixed as well. I think there's a bit of a cold snap at some point through October 1991, and then November just generally mild and quite unsettled, I think. Got 2002 showing up next. This one also is a very wet autumn with low pressure in from the Atlantic, high pressure blocking away to the north. Has a warm and dry, well, it has a dry September with temperatures a little bit above average, then a very wet October in 2002, and also a very wet November as well. So overall, that is a mild or warm and wet autumn in 2002. Then we've got 2004. Now, this one doesn't tell you anything that you need to know about the season. It's one of those years where the analogue doesn't really represent the season overall. It has a bit of a mid-Atlantic ridge type pattern, low pressure way to the northeast. It's another warm and dry September. We're having 2004. There's lots of them in the 2000s, and so this is another one of those, very dry and often quite warm September. Then we go into a very wet October again, Atlantic-driven wet October, and then November 2004. I remember just being rather a nondescript month, one or two cold snaps, but nothing particularly significant, just rather mild and dryish, I think, in November 2004. Quite a long gap then through to 2013. So the autumn 2013, again, with some higher pressure in the Atlantic, close to potentially low pressure away to the north. So that was a relatively mixed September, near normal temperature September 2013. And then October and November just gradually progresses to something a little bit stormier, really. You remember perhaps Storm Jude, I think it was, at the end of October 2013, and November also starts to get a little bit more active, a little bit stormier. Overall quite a mildish sort of autumn, but the main thing is that it's setting up the pattern, very stormy pattern for the winter 2013-14. We do get a hint of that, you know, as early as October and into November as well. 2016 looks like this. I think it's got a cold November in 2016. Overall, a higher pressure away to the north and northeast. The winds tend to be coming in from an easterly direction. That's a very hot September. You'll remember that quite vividly. Temperatures, I think, reached 34 degrees in September 2016, phenomenal heat wave so late in the year, and some extraordinary violent thunderstorms as well. And then it just gradually cools down through October, especially November. As I say, it does have quite a chilly November actually in 2016. Quite a lot of dry weather through that autumn as well. 2019 is a cool and wet autumn with blocking up towards Greenland and a trough of low pressure over the north and the west of Europe. You might think that is setting up a cold winter. It's one of those examples where the autumn pattern has absolutely no bearing whatsoever on the winter pattern, because the winter pattern, of course, becomes the PV of doom virtually from the first day of December of 2019. But the autumn 2019 is actually quite a cold and wet autumn, to be honest. And then the last year that has a 17 Celsius CET, August, is 2020. The autumn of 2020 looks like that. Low pressure away to the northeast, high pressure, one of those strange phenomena that we tend to get a lot these days. High pressure in the Atlantic, high pressure into Western Europe, high pressure into Northern Europe, high pressure back into Russia and whatnot as well. As I say, very strange anomaly, and we do tend to get these strange sort of anomalies these days. Overall, the autumn of 2020, what to say about that? I think September was a little bit more mixed, actually, and not overly hot, which is something we can't say very often these days. So it wasn't a particularly hot September, I don't think, in 2020. And then October and November, I remember them being quite mixed again, you know, quite a bit of rain, and gradually getting colder as well as we get into November, because we did have a slightly cooler or colder winter for 2020, 2021, and possibly you get a bit of a hint of that through the autumn of 2020. Right, let's start putting all of that together then for the final time. This is how all September's combined looking, following August with a 17 Celsius CET. So this one looks anticyclonic, actually. A drier signal, back to a drier signal for all September's combined. High pressure across west of Europe, low pressure away to the northeast. Perhaps on the cool side of the ridge a little bit, bringing some cooler air down at times into ridge. But overall, it is an anticyclonic signal for the September. Yeah, there could be years that are deviating, 83, 84. Both are unsettled Septembers, wet Septembers, as is 1976 as well. So there will be years that deviate, but putting it all together, you know, it does tend to be a rather more anticyclonic signal for the September. Well, October's combined much more unsettled, big flip around September to October with lots of low pressure in from the Atlantic, high pressure blocking away to the north and to the northeast as well in a lot of those Octobers. So obviously a much wetter signal for the Octobers. And then all Novembers combined following August with 17 Celsius CET looking like that. So we just tend to see some low pressure through the Mediterranean. It's a rather strange anomaly, actually, and perhaps you would look at that and say there's not much of a signal really for the Novembers, but I think probably relatively mixed still. Low pressure tending to be more towards the south. But November, a little bit of a joke in the pack there. You know, looks like could go either way between drier, colder or warmer and wetter. And then finally, all autumns combined following August with 17 Celsius CET. Looking like that. Low pressure tending to be in the Atlantic into West Europe. A little bit of blocking away to the northeast as well, bit of a blocking signal there. Bear in mind, every month be significantly different, so we have a more anticyclonic signal for September, to have a much wetter signal for the Octobers, and then November is somewhere in between. That low pressure dominated signal probably mostly down to October, I would have thought, which is a very strong low pressure signal, and so that probably skewers the overall autumn anomaly to some degree. But a rather mixed autumn being signalled there following 17 Celsius CET August with a lot of intra-month variation. And we're done. That's it, everybody. That is the final update for autumn 2024. Other than the third and final season model roundup that we're going to be releasing next Saturday. That'll be 10 AM next Saturday when we get all the long range models together for the final time, third and final time this season. And that will be ahead, of course, of tomorrow's, I'm talking about next Sunday's, or the day after, I should say. That'll be ahead of the autumn forecast being released the day after, next Sunday. Right, okay, well, thank you so much to Richard for our amazing autumn updates gift. Thank you so much, Rich. Thank you to Shrine Bruin as well for not only help on this final update, but all of the updates through the season. And thanks to Terry Scully as well. Hashtag Team Gav done an amazing job on this season of autumn updates. I hope you've enjoyed them. As I say, we've still got the autumn forecast to release next Sunday. So you'll find out 10 AM next Sunday, 25th of August, exactly what we are forecasting and predicting for the autumn of 2024. Going to be a very exciting day, as always, when we release our long-range forecast of videos here at Gavs or WeatherVids. Well, I'm going to be live at 6 PM with today's 10 to 14 day, and will include some long range as well. I'm going to go through CFS and the Copernicus suite of models in that one, so plenty of long range to enjoy, as well as the 10 to 14 day. That will all be to come at 6 PM. If you've got any questions about this update, then fire away, and I'll do my best to answer those. I'll see you at 6 PM. But for the 9th and final Autumn 2024 update, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.